Care fraud scheme worth $400 million.
This 2 years after Contact 5 investigator Katie Legrone exposed how the scam worked.
Who? To who? You have to have done it to someone, but there's no effort at all to uncover that.
I thought he should have been ashamed of himself. Then I watched Floyd Money Mayweather with Jim Gray. And I said, wait a minute. I smell something. Something seems a bit fishy.
No, money is what you smelled.
I smelled something.
Joe Rogan directly challenges Floyd Mayweather on his podcast, bringing attention to serious financial concerns surrounding the former boxer. He points to a reported $500 million debt and says that $20 million is still owed to the IRS. Rogan questions Floyd's luxury lifestyle, calling it risky and difficult to maintain, which raises major doubts about his long-term financial stability.
Floyd Mayweather. He's the only guy who's been able to just be balling out of control, constantly flashing money, $1 million watches, a fleet of super expensive cars, and still fucks everybody up. The thing about Floyd is he never lost his discipline. Floyd would famously run home from the nightclub. So he would go out in Vegas, he'd be partying, it would look like a party, he's drinking water, and then he would have his driver drive, and with his pants on, jeans on, he would jog home. And the dude was always trained.
Floyd Mayweather has for years been known for showing off his luxury lifestyle, often posting stacks of cash designer outfits and exotic cars on social media. But behind that flashy image there appears to be a more serious situation. While he continues to spend heavily, reports suggest he still owes millions to tax authorities and different lenders. This gap between his public image and financial obligations creates concern and shows how excessive spending can impact even the most successful careers, raising real questions about how stable his financial empire truly is.
I mean, he fought Logan Paul. Logan Paul weighs 200 plus pounds.
And he turned the shit out of Logan Paul's neck. Like
Crazy.
Like, wow. And I think he held him up like, hey, man, don't fall because you're going to mess the money up.
If they were the same size, I think Floyd would have knocked him out. Logan was so big.
Oh,
he was so much bigger than it.
But them shots, though, was
it's so crazy to see a guy who is the best boxer of all time having a fight with this super athletic, gigantic YouTube kid. I mean, look at the size difference. It's insane.
In his early years, Floyd's standout talent and technical skill made him a fan favorite, but as time passed he began to represent wealth more than the sport itself. Joe Rogan pointed out this change and criticized how Floyd's focus shifted from pure competition to making money. This shift was not only about his image, it also affected how he fought and how he connected with the public. Rogan suggested that what once was a drive for greatness turned into a calculated business built on controversy, confidence, and financial gain.
One of the things that people forget is that Floyd went through a big transition of his own. If you go back to the early parts of his career and you watch when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a much more aggressive fighter and he would put himself in danger much more. And then when he became Money Mayweather, just got so much more brilliant defensively. And then he became the guy that you see shutting out Canelo Alvarez, stopping all these guys, just shutting everything down. He just became this defensive wizard.
The Ethereum Max controversy led to strong backlash as Mayweather promotion of the cryptocurrency was viewed by many as taking advantage of the situation, especially after investors suffered major losses. Claims of a pump and dump scheme hurt his credibility and suggested he was focused more on personal profit than ethical responsibility. The lawsuit that followed raised concerns about the role of celebrities and their responsibility in financial promotions, and it placed serious pressure on Mayweather reputation.
Floyd Mayweather used to be having these crazy workouts and he would crack open a Pepsi and people were like, what the f*** is he doing? Like, he's crazy. That guy never drank, never partied, never was out of shape, never got fat, would run home from the club at 2 o'clock in the morning. If boxing is hit and don't get hit, who's better than Floyd? Right. 0 people. He definitely cracked him at the end of that round and wobbled him, and then it was right at the bell. And so then Floyd got back on his bike and started outboxing him.
Is Ali the same fighter that got beat by a fighter with 7 fights? Every time boxing come on, you don't bring up Muhammad Ali name. You don't bring up Mike Tyson name. You always bring up Floyd Mayweather name because I'm still a face of boxing.
When you think about Floyd talking about greater than Ali, he's very delusional. Listen, he can't take his kid to school by himself. And he's talking about he's great. He's a little scared man. Greatness is not guarding yourself from the people. Greatness is being accepted by the people.
Ali Bomaye. That means
Ali, kill him.
In response to rising criticism, Mayweather has mostly shown no regret and continues to share posts about wealth and success as if unaffected by public reaction. However, this approach could work against him. The more he tries to show control and dominance, the more it draws attention to the gap between his image and the ongoing controversies around him.
And one of the reasons why people watch him fight is not because he's like Mike Tyson, just goes out and destroys people. They like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my fucking jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I'll show you, when I'll show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like $5 million. And so you hate him.
You feel that disappointment that the fans felt that maybe you didn't get the best Manny Pacquiao that night?
We're not going to do that. We're not going to talk about that. You was one of the guys that believed in Pacquiao.
I did.
Okay. So now we don't want you to back out the block. And I told you before, that was easy work. So if you believe in Pacquiao, you need to go back and say, you need to sit down and do a story and say, you know what? I believed in Pacquiao, and it's his fault. It's not Mayweather's fault, because Mayweather did what he always do. Be a calculated fighter, be a smart fighter, and find a way to win.
And I did that because I said that although there was a problem with his shoulder, whether it existed or not, I always said there was no. Wait.
Floyd was great, but he didn't want smoke with Winky. Yeah, he didn't want smoke with Winky. He didn't want smoke with Triple G either. But there are people who look at that situation and be like, I mean, that's crazy. But that's what the great ones do. They do crazy shit. But Floyd did enough crazy stuff, though. Listen, I don't have that much criticism towards Floyd. I just don't think he's as great as everyone say. He's the greatest ever. That's silly talk to me. But he was jaw-dropping great. The impact of Floyd is my thing, and that's not criticism on Floyd. That's criticism on followers. So everybody followed what they perceived to be his blueprint. That's my criticism. It's never Floyd.
Observers have started to see a pattern where Mayweather seems more focused on attention than real value, from unusual spending to strange public appearances. It looks like he is leaning more into his image instead of trying to rebuild trust. This change in behavior may point to a deeper disconnect where fame acts like a cover for possible financial problems.
So Floyd Mayweather just got done with the boxing match against John Gotti III, and well, in the boxing match, specifically in the second round, Floyd Mayweather kicked out a ref, and they replaced it with a new one because the ref took too long pausing the fight. Let me know in the comments if this is one of the craziest things you've seen in a boxing match.
Joe Rogan has always been open with his opinions, and his view on cryptocurrency reflected what many people feel. He compared it to high-risk gambling, saying that even if it is legal, it still raises ethical concerns. This perspective shows the wider worry about how celebrities like Mayweather use their influence to promote risky investments.
The referee said Floyd Mayweather hit him behind the head. So Floyd fired the referee in the middle of the bout. Floyd throws this punch, and he's 100% correct. The punch landed the side of the head. It's a right hook. It's a perfect punch. And the referee was saying, watch the back of the head. He's like, what the are you talking about? And so he kicks the guy out, and they bring in a different referee who finishes the fight. It was insanity.
Rogan criticism also reaches the culture around digital investments. He explained that people chasing quick profits often ignore the risks and lack of clarity in the crypto market. His blunt remark about NFT supporters shows how out of touch he feels with this trend. This view works as both a personal opinion and a wider comment on how hype can easily take over logic when people make financial choices.
You just look at boxing in terms of like how often do you get hit versus how often do you hit the other guy. He's the best ever. The way him and his uncle and his father talk, I imagine they were always super competitive from the time they were young. Yeah. Like he grew up being super, they're super competitive. They're competitive about talking shit. They're competitive about all kinds of things. So it's like that hive, like growing up with that all the time, and the boxing skill.
Rogan remarks about Floyd limits in other combat sports were direct, but connected with many people. He pointed out that dominating in a familiar setting is very different from competing in a new and unfamiliar one. His criticism highlighted that Mayweather confidence does not always carry over into every field, and it serves as a reminder that money alone cannot earn respect in areas where real skill is what truly matters.
And Floyd Mayweather says he makes $300 million a month, which is $3.6 billion a year. He makes more money than Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, all of those guys. So I say all that to say this. The money that Canelo was looking for, they can easily come up with that money. Floyd Mayweather got it.
Well, listen, let me put it this way to you. If he makes what did he say, $300 million a month?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm 6'4" and 240, and I know I'm 5'8.5" and 240. So there you go. There's no way. There's that. If he makes $3 million a month on his investments, that's a lot. $36 million a year. That's a lot. So I know guys that are worth, $500-600 million, plenty of them, and they don't make $36 million a year, let alone $300 million a month. So there you go.
The fight with Conor McGregor came to represent Mayweather focus on business over competition. Instead of being seen as a true contest, it was widely viewed as a money-driven event built on hype. The fact that Floyd returned from retirement for it suggested that financial rewards mattered more than love for the sport, and it showed how he has turned his legacy into a commercial product.
Floyd Mayweather Jr., there's a story circulating that Business Insider did talking about this $400 million property deal that he had been discussing here in New York City. But now, according to Business Insider, it's not what you think it is. They said there's no evidence there's been a sale of these properties, and it's 62 rental apartment buildings in Upper Manhattan. Here is what Floyd Mayweather had said at the time on a video that he posted on his Instagram.
I love bringing the people into my lifestyle, showing the people how I live. Now, I know you guys see me on a regular talking about real estate. Well, lately I purchased 62 apartment buildings in New York City. And what I need you guys to do, slide over and check out the photos. It's not all 62 buildings, it's a few buildings, but guess what? All the buildings belong to me. I don't have no partners. And all the retail down low on my buildings all belong to me. Guess what? You can do the same.
All right. Well, now we're trying to figure out what happened, right, with Business Insider. So according to another update, he did ink a $402 million deal for a Black Spruce portfolio. When he said that it was all his and no one invested, he meant no one was funding his part of the investment but him. And so I think this is something where maybe he owns a piece of this or shares in it, but it hasn't changed hands because the majority owner is still the same owner that it was before. I'm trying to understand what happened with this, but I know there's a story that's circulating, so just putting it out there. Whew, it's a tough one. I'm trying to understand as a real estate person myself, what exactly he is communicating when he's saying that he owns this, because they're trying to make it seem like he doesn't. But what it seems like is that he owns shares of these buildings, and it's a larger, it's part of an investment that he did on his own.
Bravado has always been a part of Floyd Mayweather's public image, but over time it has started to lose its impact. Constant self-praise, especially when mixed with controversy, has made many people doubt how genuine he is. The more he speaks about his own success, the more it appears he is disconnected from the growing questions about his financial situation and overall legacy.
Of his team spoke off the record, and they actually try to modify the story a little bit to get ahead of it. So it went from we own all the buildings with no partners to now their story is changing up a little bit. So they reached out to the Housing Partnership, a spokesperson. Now the Housing Partnership of NYC is a nonprofit group that is a partner in a majority of these like really huge like property deals, and it helps the person buying it to qualify for tax breaks and grants and preserve the affordability of the portfolio apartments, right? If you're buying affordable housing, then you're gonna go through the NYC Housing Partnership. That never happened, okay? So the spokesperson says the Housing Partnership has not been advised of any sale, pending sale, or change in ownership. Generally, the partnership will be advised of the transfer and will be party to the transfer. That has not occurred. A person directly... Now, here's where Mayweather get on that BS, bro. All right, here's where the shady business starts.
Family members expressing concern highlight how far the gap has grown. Jeff Mayweather reaction and emotional distance suggest more than simple business disagreements. It reflects strain within personal relationships. This situation points to the impact Floyd choices may have had, where the focus on wealth appears to have weakened family bonds and affected meaningful connections.
One of the things that people forget is that Floyd went through a big transition of his own. If you go back to the early parts of his career and you watch when he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a much more aggressive fighter, and he would put himself in danger much more. And then when he became Money Mayweather, like as it got later and later in his life, he just got so much more brilliant defensively. And then he became the guy that you see shutting out Canelo Alvarez, stopping all these guys, just shutting everything down. He just became this defensive wizard to the point where you'd see world-class fighters like Sugar Shane Mosley. Once he recovered, he didn't really know what to do with Floyd. Floyd just had the answers to his style. He had figured him out.
Speculation about international dealings has added more uncertainty to Floyd's situation. Some rumors suggest that gambling or foreign loans could be linked to his financial issues, which makes the story even less clear. His global lifestyle, once seen as a symbol of success, is now being viewed by some as connected to possible financial pressure and rumors. The discussion about Mayweather debt is no longer private and has become public talk. The lack of clear response from his side only increases speculation and allows more rumors to spread. As a result, pressure is growing for him to explain his financial situation more openly or risk losing further public trust.
Floyd's undefeated too, but he's not the greatest boxer of all time, right?
It's arguable he is. It's arguable he is.
I don't think so.
Listen, man,
I feel like he is. He's my favorite.
He's been hit hard maybe 4 times his whole fucking career. Right. You stop and think about how many fights he fought against elite guys. Not just great defense, like the best defense of all time.
Yeah.
You're talking about a guy who's fought everybody. He fought everybody. He fought Canelo. He fought Pacquiao. Maybe he didn't fight Pacquiao when he was in his prime, and maybe he fought Canelo when he was young and made him cut extra weight. He did some smart shit. But at the end of the day,
that's part of being a fighter, though, right?
Yeah. At the end of the day, the fucking guy's 49 in Conor McGregor. That's what he is. That's what I say.
The flashy image that defined Floyd Mayweather brand has now become one of its biggest weaknesses. While social media often celebrates luxury, the reality behind the scenes may not be as glamorous. Without a strong financial base, the image he built on perception could start to weaken and fall apart. The real issue now is not attention or spectacle, but whether his success is actually built to last.
Kim Kardashian and Floyd Mayweather are being sued over an alleged crypto pump and dump scam. Investors are accusing the celebrities of promoting a no-name crypto called Ethereum Max.
Do your homework, do your research.
I would not move forward with an endorsement that a celebrity had recommended just on the fact that they were a celebrity.
Kajenwa Moit teaches branding and marketing at Parsons School of Design at the New School.
You know, they did what every scammer would normally do, which is to name it after something that is trusted. In fact, what we came to find is Ethereum Max has nothing to do with Ethereum. It doesn't even sit on the Ethereum blockchain, but it's a way of duping people.
Kim Kardashian promoted the coin on Instagram, asking, "Are you guys into crypto? This is not financial advice," and names Ethereum Max.
Kim Kardashian's case, it was declared on the Instagram post that it was a paid promotion.
Floyd Mayweather endorsed the coin at a boxing match with YouTube star Logan Paul.
This is the best day of my life.
Accepting the coin as payment for boxing tickets.
Trying to buy celebrity names to promote their assets. And so the ultimate question is, should someone who's being paid for promoting a product be ultimately held accountable?
Crypto and blockchain attorney Felix Shipkevich says the celebs are only doing their job of promotion. He gave an example of a celebrity promoting a car advertisement.
You know, sometime down the road, this EV has major issues, goes up in flames, or the brakes stop working. Are we going to end up suing that celebrity?
Growing concerns from insiders and fans suggest that a shift may be necessary if Mayweather does not move toward more transparent and responsible behavior. His carefully built image could slowly break down. The conversation around Floyd is no longer only about boxing or money. It has become about his legacy. With every new controversy, his achievements risk being overshadowed by ongoing drama. For someone once focused on greatness in the ring, this marks a serious and sobering change.
I'm always bringing the people into my life. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the love. I have to bring you guys into my life on a daily basis. Check out my view again. Once again, I should say. The Michael Jackson steps.
That is it for today's video. Stay tuned until next time.